And welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Alex G. And with me this evening, we have, what are you commissioner of now, Matt? BRL and the IWAR, right? Yeah. Oh, the Texas Vixen League? Is that what we're calling it? Bra and Panty League. Thanks, Frank Snow. And with us this evening, we have NWL contributor Jeff. I believe Aaron will be on the show shortly as well. So what's going on tonight, Jeff?
Just sitting here looking over these results. Pretty nice cycle for a lot of people. Good cycle.
So fellas, I don't know anything about holds. So what were the drops this cycle?
That is why you fail.
I got a 495. Fuck off.
So I was like, every time I see you do well, I'm like, yes, because I know you just kind of mail it in, literally. It was 26s. That was 45.53 if you were picking holds. The 26s had not dropped previously until last January. That's 21 cycles of action. So quite a distance to go.
I never had any action during a cycle before, Matt. How about you?
That's a tough break.
Discord keeps messing me up. Well, yeah, no, it does that. One day we might get off of Skype and find maybe we'll use Google Meets at some point. But I've tried all the alternatives. Me and Matt have tried all the alternatives, and Skype still wins it all. One day we'll do one live in person, maybe, and it'll probably sound better.
My God.
So I guess we'll start with some house cleaning first, or housekeeping. Yeah, I got some stuff to say, Matt. I got some stuff to say.
Oh, my God.
I want to start off and mention Super Chats are live, so if you want to contribute to my lunch for tomorrow, by all means, go right ahead. I'm never going to turn down money. In addition to that, we do have our Amazon affiliate link. It's posted right over to your left-hand side. Make sure you use that where you're making all your Amazon purchases. You don't pay anything extra. I just get like 30 cents off your purchase. So, every little bit helps. Every little bit helps.
Hey.
It's true. It's true.
Good guy. Good guy.
I think I put a lot of hard work into this. I think I deserve it. I don't know. 125 shows in, guys. 125 shows in.
I've been using my Amazon affiliate link to buy stuff. So.
I know. I see the butt plugs on there, so it's all good.
Hey, man. Got to be comfortable.
Hey, whatever works. In addition to that, I have received some requests to put timestamps for the show. I said no. And here's why. One of the reasons that we actually go live instead of doing the Tubecast like we used to do it is I don't necessarily have a ton of free time anymore. So we try to knock these out live, no edits. We go raw, the whole nine. That includes not having timestamps. For me to go back through an hour and a half, 2 hour show to figure out when we switch from the IWL to BRL to NWL is very time consuming. That being said, I'm not opposed to timestamps per se. So if an enterprising young man or young lady wants to put those timestamps in for us in the comment section, it'd be welcome. You make a couple people happy. So, one of you may want to consider doing that. It's not going to be me, unfortunately. I do apologize. I know some people just want to, listen to what's going on in the BRL and move on with their day. I understand that your time is precious. But that also being said, I feel that this show is one show. It probably should be listened to in its entirety.
You suck.
It does. That's where you get all the cool jokes and it's funny. So I see this as one kind of piece of work. If I didn't, we would have individual shows for each league, which would be insane. We already do 2 shows, one's for the results, one's for the trash talk, because the show would have gotten to be 3.5 hours long, and you guys don't want to be sitting here until 4 o'clock in the morning while we talk about the IWA. I do respect that, though. Thank you.
I think about our shows. I think this often. The people that are listening to podcasts, like I used to listen to podcasts when I was in a cubicle back in the day when I was doing corporate training and design. And I would always worry about listening to some ridiculous podcast and my plug coming out and people hearing what I'm listening to. And all I can think of is people at work like, "So Johnson, how's it going? Well, what are you listening to there?" Nothing at all. "Oh no, what are you listening to? Is it a good podcast? Let me hear a bit of that." And I hear us talking about the backstabber, and they're like, "Backstabber? My God, whoever that is." He's leaving anyway, so screw that guy.
I'm very disappointed about that. We'll talk about that later, though. So if again, like I said, if anyone wants to put those timestamps in the comment section of the video, by all means, go right ahead. So that's that. Right off the bat, Matt, I believe you have some questions answered by good old JB. Is that true?
Good old Johnny B. That's right. He asked me for the name of the ladies' league, so I'm working on that.
Lollipop Leftover League.
Yes, that's that too. Question 1. Does the IWA have an employee of the cycle? Johnny B. The office environment hasn't been conducive to such contests since we added the role of customer service rep. Before Kimberly began working here, we didn't have anyone who was clearly outperforming everyone else, other than yours truly, of course. So instead, each cycle, a different employee would randomly be chosen for a $100 bonus. Once you had been selected, you were ineligible to receive until everyone else had received one. So it was a nice surprise when it was your turn, but you knew it would happen eventually, as opposed to, say, Matt Riley winning a second world title. Oh, that's true. After that practice had ended, there was a cycle when one of my many brothers who hasn't worked here in over a decade, but was responsible for drawings including Wildfire Johnny Rage.
Yes.
Was awarded the special honor for the time he sauntered in just before lunch, proceeded to take a long lunch break, process a single league, then call it a day. Nepotism at its best. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I always say that everyone has someone they've worked with who we like, how the hell do they still have a job? So no one asked this question. Apparently he wanted to tell us about a time he was summoned to the principal's office for an IWA-related matter.
Oh.
Johnny B. By the time my father, the original Johnny B., had left his tenured teaching position to focus all his efforts on making the IWA a success, the game had graduated from the Commodore 64 to the Commodore 128, and then to the Commodore Amiga 1000.
Oh.
Good Lord. Yeah. Which used 3.5-inch floppy disks for storage. On each disk was a small plastic tab that would rest in one of two positions: standard mode, which allowed data to be written, or read-only mode. Someone had inadvertently switched the tab on an important disk, preventing strategies and other info from being updated. As there were no cell phones in these days, my father had to call high school he had recently retired from to seek my assistance. So I had the distinction of having a PA system announce that my presence was requested in the principal's office. My fellow classmates and I naturally assumed the latest summons related to my love of hijinks, some of which I relayed in an earlier episode. I previously shared the story of how a ballpoint pen that had been dropped into a dot matrix printer had put a dent in my father's plans, my birthday plans, but it wasn't only such an incident involving one of those exceedingly loud devices. My father also encountered difficulty when attempting to print from one. He began to call out for his IT department, but my mother saved me the troubleshooting by looking down in the basement steps and identifying the source of the problem. The family cat decided to take a nap in the box of continuous speed paper, preventing it from being pulled into the printer. With 10 children in the family, 10 children.
Johnny B was a busy man. What can I say?
Johnny, the B stands for boink.
Genetic jackhammer, indeed.
That's right. Scott Steiner's got nothing on him. With 10 children in the family, most of whom wanted a pet of some sort at one time or another, viewers can likely imagine that our home was typically shared with all manner of creatures great and small. On a notable occasion, a wild possum had wandered through the door and been carelessly left open by one of my brothers. And when a few of my sisters returned home, witnessed the untamed beast enjoying the cat's dinner, she took absolutely no notice of it, believing it to be the latest addition to the family zoo. Wow, that's a pretty good cat right there.
Yeah.
I would describe my childhood home as quite the menagerie, but doing so would surely lead to an inappropriate remark from Alex.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would.
Alex likes to send inappropriate things, too. So
I found the Senior Lucha sex tape.
He did.
It's awesome. It is awesome. I cannot share it with anyone because I'm afraid I'll go to jail.
Now, you sent me something. Should I look at it?
Yes.
Alex sent a photo. Oh my!
That's gonna be featured in the next Weekly World News.
First of all, I'll just to give the viewers or listeners at home an idea. If you know the Señor Lucha Blue Demon mask, it is being used by a person involved in a act, and there's a couple acts here. They're both bad. Oh well, that's gonna need some therapy on that one. Oh, that's tough. Hey, he's an old man. He needs to make his money, right?
He needs the money. He needs the money. That's for sure.
Oh boy. All right. So questions out of the way. I gotta click off that damn page. Damn it.
If you're clicking on inappropriate things on the internet, make sure you're using Surfshark, the world's greatest VPN.
We need them as a sponsor.
I'm going to jail.
Is there anyone that works for the IWA that's not related to Johnny B? Like, is it just a family operation?
Oh,
that's a good question. Good question.
That's a question Johnny B will be happy to answer.
Yeah.
He didn't answer the question I asked about his wrestling T-shirt, so waiting on that one, Johnny B.
Or his last event that he went to.
Yes.
So.
All right. So, do you want to hit? What do you want to hit first?
I'm kind of curious about what Johnny B is driving these days. I feel like it's a Wagoneer of some sort.
Oh, he drives. He's in Ohio. They get weather down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4-wheel drive involved. He's near the lake, so it's gonna be lake effect snow.
I'm guessing it's a Subaru.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of Subarus in New Hampshire around here.
One of those ones, multiple bike racks and stuff on the roof.
Well, all those kids.
I was gonna go with the Kia Soul personally, but
the one that the hamsters drive.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start off with the BRL. Matt, you want to go through the BRL for us? Number 582 for the BRL.
Yeah, sure. So, BRL 582, our league champion is Owen Bullock.
Doesn't deserve it.
What? How dare you, sir? How dare? Sorry, my screen shrunk. There we go. All right. I also want to mention that BRL had 177 cards. We had 90 Battle Royal entries.
God damn!
I'm not tired.
Did you win that thing?
We'll talk about that. We'll get there.
Okay.
So Catfish Chucky was a TV champion.
Good for him.
And I should mention that Owen Bullock had a $4.99, as did Catfish Chucky, as did Randy the Ram. So Tim and Rob cleaning up.
They're using all the same strats again?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I should tip of the cap to Playboy Mick Ferrari with a 500 in his debut. So title page, look at that. Ding. Getting back to our results. Let's see here. Central Plains champion Playboy Mick Ferrari, who may have a legit shot at a regional, IWA-wide regional. Let's see here. Sorry, my phone is buzzing. Randy the Ram, East Coast champion. Great Lakes champion, Monster Truck Tanaka. Mid-Atlantic champion, Wisp. Northeast champion, Sabertooth. Pacific Northwest champion, Miss Ratchet, Wanda Cabrini Green. Rocky Mountains champion, Flashy Jack Ferdinand. Uh-oh, he's at it again, folks.
Oh, no.
Southeast champion, Hot Stuff Adam Cash. He's a hack. Southwest champion, Punk Rock Mike. West Coast champion, Alligator.
Oh.
Now, our tag champions were Zeus and Hercules. They had a 516. I had not heard yet if it was PPF. The White Claw Outlaws took the TV tag belts.
Those guys are still around?
They are, yeah, the IWAR World Tag Champions.
Unbelievable.
The League Six-Man Champions retaining the belts and winning 5 free matches were George Duke, Larry Brett, and Nelson Hull, BHD, which we won't say what that stands for. TV six-man champions are Saskatchewan Sasquatch, Zombie Hunter Matthew Porter, and Chief Bull Gray Fox. And the Battle Royal winner earning $50 in IWA credit, Monster Truck Tanaka. It's me. Thank you guys for a very good cycle. Score-wise, to give you an idea of how many 495 or higher, we had 44 wrestlers with 495 or higher. So that's very, very good. And that's another cycle in a row where we had really competitive wrestling. And I was talking before the show saying how, I've always been a big fan of I'd rather lose 498 to 497 than 498 to 488,
Yeah.
So I want to quickly nod or tip of the cap to Darren Soanes for joining me to do a IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. We talked a lot about six-man, multi-man wrestling. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's like an hour and a half long, but Darren does an amazing job breaking down how he puts the strats together, and there's a lot of advice in there. So one of the things we talked about, and we're going to kind of pitch this to people, if you're in the NWL, buddy up with some people and do a trios as a team. So that way, each of you can kind of split the glory if you win the world championship, which would be really nice. Are you sending me more Senior Lucha smut videos?
No, I'm sending you the Wrestle Riot poster.
Oh, okay. So anyways, BRL-wise, we also had, this cycle was the WrestleRama 10 pay-per-view. If you don't have a chance to read it, I'll go over the results here because it was a fun show. It was our 10th anniversary show, or 10th show we've done. And I gotta tell you, when I first did the show WrestleRama, this was literally based off of when I was a kid and my friends and I would play our D&D wrestling dice game. WrestleRama was our WrestleMania, and it was as stupid and cheesy as it sounds. I always thought it was funny to use that name, so that's where the name came from. $1 Million Challenge match. So Agent 26 was taking on Wisp, and this was originally a $100,000 challenge match, and then Agent 26 was like, yo, I'll put $1 million on the line. And Wisp beat him, so Wisp should get the $1 million now. So we'll see if Agent 26 pays up. We had an IWAR World Tag Title match between the White Claw Outlaws, defending those belts in a special appearance against the Samoan Death Grip with the Teamster, and it was a 5-14 to 5-12 result with the White Claw Outlaws retaining. And the Teamster, of course, did not help his team, as he usually does not do that. We had a biker chain on a pole match between Zydrate and Seth Adams Lee, and Zydrate had a 496, Seth had a 489, a pretty thorough whumping of Seth Adams Lee by Zydrate. We next up had a respect grudge match, whatever that means, where Hustle Adam Cash and R.A. Rude were scraping over some bad blood, and R.A. Rude pretty much trounced Adam 498 to 491. I used to have a device. I haven't done this in a long time, but if your score was 10 points or more, I wrote an injury in. If you lose by 10 points, that's pretty tough, So I might bring that back. It was a fun little device. It doesn't really mean anything in the game-wise, but writing-wise, it was like, someone broke an ankle or sprained a leg or whatever. Global Tag Championship, the East-West Connection, Jane Red and Matthew Van Slaughter held off the Mannequins 1 and 2, 5-14 to 5-11. Then we had the Global Six-Man Championship. The Olympians, Zeus, Hercules, and Ares retained, even though they lost the match 5-15 to 5-14, because we ain't getting no promos out of Arrogance. So I need to send those promos in. That's what it's all about. Stipulation. Women's Global Championship, Not Safe for Work. Gina Colada defended against Wildfire Betty Red. And Betty Red, even though Gina had a 495, Betty Red had a 499. So she really took it to her to regain that belt. So Betty Red with the belts once again. It's kind of funny. I mentioned last show about how Jane Red really did a good job of establishing women's wrestling. And she was a big star for the women's scene early on, when there was no division.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because even though she was such a trendsetter and a leader, and she won the Four Corners Invitational one year, it's Betty who's become really, really known as the women's wrestler. We filled the North American Championship when Larry Brett took on Brom O'Baron, and Brom won 496 to 496 on a tiebreaker. So it was a Battle Royal money tiebreaker. So close one, but Brom O'Baron, congratulations. And I got your email. The player who manages him sent me an email already talking about some ideas for the future. That I love the ideas he has, so it's gonna be really good. Our global championship match featured Punk Rock Mike, the longest reigning global champion of all time, twice over. Like two 20 cycle runs as champion.
Ooh.
It's like the guy is just like Mr. Global Belt. So he was defending against Flashy Jack Ferdinand and LePage Turner. The past 2 years, wrestlers of the year in the BRL. So like pretty good challenging. And the wild match. Then Kabuki Dragon came down, distracted LePage, who conked Flashy Jack with a steel chair, which opened up Mike a chance to take him down and beat him. And the scoring was 498 to 497 to 496. That's about, talk about like tough. Then we had the Royal Rumble, the third Royal Rumble match. And it's a page and a half about in length. I won't go through all the details, but the winner, if you've not read it yet, you're going to be like, man, don't spoil it. I'm seeing anyone saying no spoilers.
No one cares.
Nope. No one cares. So yes, the win goes to recently returned Nightmare Johnny Carnage. So
good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, he pulled it off. And the way this works, this is a kind of a tricky way to do it, but I think it's a little novel way. He can insert Nightmare Johnny Carnage into the main event or any title match in the BRL universe. All right. So if he says, I want to go after the North American title, I want to go to the global title, the global tag titles, the global 6-man titles, he can say, I want to have in on that match. All you have to do is let me know the cycle before it runs, as the matches are determined. So like, let me know right before that match series plays, and you have either Magic Bash in the summer, Autumn Anarchy in the fall, or Battlecade in the winter. And Johnny Carnage can step in and get a title shot. So it's a pretty cool way to do it. I just think it's a little different. So we got that. We also have some main event results. I got to go through those. I haven't even looked at those yet, as far as like the results. But I think it's working. It's still a work in progress, so it's not perfect. I'm trying to get really good about making sure I have not as many repeats as possible, mixing up the talent and the main event rules. So be patient with that. But I'm open to suggestions. Our next pay-per-view will be a Magic Bash 21. 21, folks, at Cycle 586. So, again, Cycle 585 will be the matches, and then 586 is the write-up. So, that's the BRL right there. There you go.
Yeah, man, I dig that. Next up, Independent Wrestling League number 154. League champion Johnny WrestleFest, television champion Bob Bonecutter, New York City champion Bulk Brogan, Los Angeles champion Chase Grace, Boston champion Barry Taking These Stevens.
Oh yeah,
or I like to call him Barry Take a Dump Stevens. Detroit champion Gene the Machine Conrad, Cleveland champion Graw, Dallas champion Bill Bonecutter, Memphis champion Alex Von Schnapp, Miami champion Jax Justice, San Francisco champions Guy Michael Gagon. I feel like that's not an accent though. Whatever. Chicago champion Bernard Bouchard, League Tag Team champions Shane the Train Gloom and Mean Mike Zenith, the Demolition Crew, TV Tag Team champion Axel and Alex Von Schnapp, League 6-man champions winning 3 matches for retaining Jebediah Worthington, Nehemiah Worthing, and Zebediah Worthington. TV 6-man champion the Von Schnapps, and your Battle Royal winner winning 59 free IWL matches. Barry Taking These Stevens. So
That's me.
It is you. It is you. No one cares.
No one cares.
So, Alex G, what's going down in the IWL? Well, we're on our road to Soul Survivor, so make sure you get those entries into me, into the IWA sooner rather than later. You want to make sure that you get an opportunity to win probably the largest prize that we have in the IWL. In addition to that, spoiler, I guess, the Backstabber did in fact defeat Spider Williams in the Grand Prix title match, and unfortunately, Backstabber has decided to leave the IWL and the IWA altogether. So I have no idea what I'm doing with this championship belt.
Nice.
So what's going to happen, a little behind the scenes, we're going to break a little kayfabe here, guys, is that I'm going to write up the match for Spider Williams and Backstabber for the pay-per-view. Backstabber will go over, and then I'll figure out what to do after that, because I have no idea at the moment. In addition to that, don't forget that X3M has won the Young Lions Cup. She will face Shotgun James Carnage at the pay-per-view for the vacated Pan Am Championship. And main event of the pay-per-view has changed since Alexander J. Styles went down with an injury at the hands of that dastardly Stevie Vertigo.
Yeah.
What a jerk. Unbelievable. So, based on a couple of injunctions and restraining orders that Revolution Extreme has filed in the Southern District Court of New York, Revolution Extreme will be able to put a replacement in there to go for the World Championship at the pay-per-view. So we don't know who that replacement's going to be. I guess we'll find out at the pay-per-view. I don't know if we're going to call it perhaps a interim champion. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So there will be a title match. Barry take his knee. Stevens will take on a member of Revolution Extreme. Who that will be has yet to be decided. In addition to that, it looks like the Wrecking Brawl SWAT team has ran away with the full pack challenge. Right now they're at 54 points. We have Free Quebec at 34 points, Dog Pound at 18, and Hoax Endro at 10 points, respectively. So it looks like the Wrecking Ball SWAT team will get the shot at the Unified Tag Team Championship at Wrestle Riot. Recently, guys, I've received a letter from one of our newer managers in the league, and he had some suggestions. You know, some of them I take into account some of the ones I often get suggestions around, like, hey, you know what would really be cool if IWL had staple initials. No, we're not going to do that. Sorry.
Yes.
He also recommended for us to have a women's title, but I told him, hey, it's a great idea. Would love to do it, but since the IWAR may be doing a women's league in the future, we're going to hold off on that. He also wanted an additional championship. He wanted a hardcore championship, which right now we are full with titles at the moment, but it did give me an idea for a contest at Wrestle Riot. So, guys, we're going to have an actual Wrestle Riot match, which is a sort of a 24/7 hardcore match that's going to run throughout the entire pay-per-view. And the person who holds the championship belt at the end of the pay-per-view will be
R-Truth.
It might be R-Truth. Could be R-Truth. Could be Lance Catamaran, for all we know.
Ninja guy.
So the person who wins whatever prize at the end of the show will get a shot at the Pan Am Championship at the King of Pro Wrestling. So, you know, I'm trying to work out the details, work out the kinks on how I'm gonna, number one, write this event, what the prize will be, since there's no championship belt attached to this. Essentially, so there has to be something they have to be running around the entire building. Although it could be fun, someone's getting pinned in the women's bathroom or in the parking lots. That could be a fun thing to write throughout the show to kind of connect the show. It kind of reminds me of, if anyone watched the 1987 Slammies, I think it was 87, when Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Harley Race were fighting throughout the entire show. It's gonna be something like that. So yeah, if you guys have any feedback on that, please let me know. We'll see how that goes. I gotta work that out myself. In addition to that, I think that's everything. I'm very happy with the amount of TT this cycle, but that's, again, we'll talk about that in the next Tubecast. So we'll see what our stats are for this cycle. We ended up with 152 cards, which may be the record. I don't know, possibly. Ryan will chime in and let us know what the record is. What 152
record for cards in IWL?
Yeah.
You
don't know.
I can tell you. I have 3 years worth of results here, so I can tell you as far back as 2020. That's the highest we've had.
Yeah, as I figured, because I remember we were super excited to hit 110. So we had 59 wrestlers in the Battle Royal, which might be an all-time high as well. So Hey, listen, IWL is getting real robust right now. We're competing in terms of size with the BRL, and poor Jeremy, who has to has to recap all the TT, may have to reformat the Blaze because it's a lot now. I couldn't imagine him recapping all this TT plus doing a pay-per-view recap. It'd be insane. So, yeah.
Hey, I will say, as someone on the outside looking in, I think the IWL has the nicest, sleekest looking report of all
thanks.
It's just a very graphically robust report. It's very nice.
Yeah, when we
talk, if you look carefully, you might see some naval sea captains in there.
Naval sea captains, a couple of porn stars in there. They make it in every once in a while. I'm pretty sure Sonny Bono makes an appearance on the report this cycle. He does. There he is. Sonny Bono's in the report. It's a good time. Good times are had by all. You know what it is when doing this? I really wanted a magazine type feel in terms of this report, which the report is it's actually built on top of an old wrestling wrap up issue that I had that was scanned in, so it's built on top of that. So wrestling wrap up was the WCW magazine before WCW had a magazine. So that's that. I do see a lot of reports out there that have they look really nice, but they don't have a lot of substance. But between Don King's column and the Blaze and our rankings and stuff, I think we have a lot of substance here as well at being appealing to the eye. So, no, appreciate that, Jeff. Thank you. Okay, I dig that. I guess we'll scoot right over to the NWL. Jeff, you want to bring us through the NWL for us?
Absolutely. NWL report number 181. We had a 74-page report, 142 cards. We had 41 Battle Royal participants. We had 12 wrestlers with a 495 or higher. And we also had a pay-per-view Clash of Champions 22 that the results will be on this cycle, but we haven't quite gotten those squared away yet. So we'll do those on the TT Tubecast a little down the line. In the NWL this cycle, we are seeing a changing of the guard. All of the 2021, for the most part, 2021 superstars have kind of matriculated or are on their way matriculating to the BRL and the IWL. And that leaves us with a very new-looking title page. We have a lot of new names. League champion this cycle is a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling. Caesar Sterling, third cycle in the NWL, third title, and it's a league. TV champion is the Sheepdog, Roe Grady. Central Plains champion is Titanic with a Y.
Oh, fancy.
Titanic. Yeah, Titanic. 71-1. I believe it's Titanic's first cycle. And Titanic avoided the iceberg and took home the Central Plains Championship. East Coast champion, Colonel Doom, who still has, I believe, 2 more cycles left. Colonel Doom, of course, one of the bigger stars of 2021 in the NWL. Great Lakes champion, Zombie Hunter. Mid-Atlantic champion, Country Hammer, Rhett Grady, who will be going over to the BRL soon. And I must say, I'm quite proud of the 1,251 wins that Rhett Grady has achieved in the NWL. I don't know what the record for wins is in the NWL. Matt, any idea?
That's pretty close, I think.
The women's record in NWL?
No,
wins.
the wins. Most wins in the NWL.
Oh, I think it was Izzy Crazy. He had like 2,000 or something like that. I think it sounds scary, but there were 3 guys. A guy had 3 wrestlers in the league. Izzy Crazy, Willie. Oh God, I forget the names.
Willie Survive.
Willie Survive, and there was another guy. Anyways, he sent in like $200 worth of matches every cycle.
Yeah, so if I remember correctly, he challenged every wrestler every cycle.
Yeah, it was with all 3 of his guys. But yes, that's up there.
I guess your boy Rhett got a little bit of work to do then.
It's funny. He when he graduated, he didn't go to the IWAR. He went somewhere else, and then he stopped playing like 3 cycles later.
Well, I can tell you what happened. The manager was like wooed him to go there and bump their numbers up. He went to that league. He felt it sucked, and then he got like disheartened and quit the game. I was like, that was just goddamn pissed me off still to this day.
That was an early Luther feud too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Willie Survive.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Northeast champion from the Battle Royal is Fabulous Harry Hart. Fabulous Harry Hart has, I think, been in the NWL 6 or 7 cycles now, and seems to always be on the title page, and is also laying out some decent TT. So that's a name to watch. Pacific Northwest champion, Father Arturo Bartolo, another new name. And a name you're going to hear a few more times on this recap. Rocky Mountains champion from Honor Revolt, Lionheart, Lachlan Kincaid. Southeast champion from the Industry, Waz. Southwest champion is Father Bartolo's buddy, his partner, Father Conrad.
Oh,
I believe that's his first cycle, first championship. Southwest champion. West Coast champion is your everyday hero, Oliver Livingston, who in his TT this cycle delivers a baby.
I love
Genius. Just pure, that character. I know this isn't a TT recap, but if you go back and read the TTs, Oliver Livingston TTs from the beginning, it just classic. So good. League tag team champions are the fathers, Father Conrad and Father Arturo Bartolo, or as I will call them from this point forward, my 2 dads.
Underrated show, by the way. Underrated.
Absolutely. Show. TV tag team champions, Honor Revolt takes home another crown. Lionheart, Lachlan Kincaid, No Limits, Nick Dane. Seems like every cycle they're winning either a tag team title or a 6-man belt of some sort. League 6-man, Father Conrad, Father Bartolo, and the baby delivering gynecologist, your everyday hero, Oliver Livingston. TV 6-man champions is Honor Revolt, Lachlan Kincaid, Nick Dane, and Wolf Keenan. And the Battle Royal winner with the highest, the $4.99, the highest score in the NWL this cycle, a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling.
Nice.
And like I said, we have the Clash 22 results. We're still trying to work those out. There's a couple ties and a few other things we still need to sort out, Aaron and I. So we'll do those on the TT show. And that is the NWL.
Yeah, man, I dig that. Matt, what do you have for us IWAR wide?
Well, I will add one quick thing on NWL.
No, you won't.
As just the Teamster Challenge is now up to 39 free NWL matches if you can win the NWL tag belts with Hio de Teamster. So the current team's records are 10-26. So I'm sorry, 10-29. Sorry, I messed it up. Why? That's even worse.
It seems like Teamster's little boy is being recruited into some stables too. So who knows?
Is it Virus? Which one, Virus or Edge?
Virus.
Oh, no? Oh, sorry.
Oh, Virus. Yeah, so I just want to mention that.
Before I forget, wait, hold on. Thanks for the super chat, Jeremy. I'll make sure I get that. Say thank you on the air for that. Thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. You may continue.
Just think of the push you'd get in the IWL if you were there. Oh, wait, he is. What a bum commissioner. Speaking of commissioners being bums, I forgot to mention that the cycle coming up in the BRL, we earned the IWA's top strategy bonus. So every wrestler or every player gets to take 10 free matches when you send your BRL matches in. So don't forget to take 10 free matches.
You know, the IWL will never win this because I'm in the league. So
Oh, you got a 495. So
I got a 482.
Yeah, but once in a blue moon.
I don't know what happened. I probably
doubled your holds.
I probably doubled.
You tripled your holds.
I tripled my holds.
They say doubling's bad, but if I triple them, I'll get 325s.
One day to do the E form where you can't double a hold anymore.
They will.
It'll have an error message saying that you doubled that hold.
That's right. You get or your phone will alert, like a phone alert, like
you can't even send it. Like you would press submit and it wouldn't even work because you doubled the hold.
So other things going on. We are in the developing stages of creating the women's league. It's going to be coming together this cycle and next. We've got to do things like design the league and logos and all that good stuff.
I can't do it because it will look like porn. So.
Yes. There are two main contenders for the current league name, so we'll see what happens with that. But I wanted to talk about some of the events going on, starting with Queen of the Ring, speaking of women's leagues. So Queen of the Ring, the 8 that advanced were Riley Reynolds, Betty Red, Alligator, Sherry Summers, Aphie O'Shaughnessy, Gina Colada, and Erica Phobia. And now out of those 4 would advance, and the top 4 advancing to the next round were Betty Red, Alligator, Gina Colada, and Aphie O'Shaughnessy. So 2 of those 4 will advance to the finals, and then we'll find out who our winner is. So that tourney is moving right along. So the Lethal Lottery trifecta. So the team of Nightmare Johnny Carnage, Money Driven Mike Sebastian, and Jax McAllister had a 1473 combined score. Remember, their scoring goes by each wrestler's strat total. And then we had Stevie Vertigo, who the heck is Mike Cook, and Luther Alexander scoring a 1484. So Luther Alexander, Stevie Vertigo, and Mike Cook advanced to the finals.
Oh no!
Good Lord, Luther Alexander teaming with Stevie Vertigo. Then we had
hate that guy.
Country Hammer Rhett Grady with a 493, Hawaiian Heartthrob with a 484, and Agent 26 with a 490 for a 1467. On the other side of the coin, we had Playboy McFerrari, who hit 500, Owen Bolick, who hit 499, and U.S. Mail hit 491. So advancing to the finals are Playboy McFerrari, the Total Package U.S. Mail, and Owen Bolick. And then remember, the team that wins will go on to challenge the champions, and it'll be under these rules. So it's going to be an interesting shootout there. Thanks, Jeff, for doing the show. Jeff had to hit the sack because he's got to get up in the morning. Yeah. I'm off tomorrow, so sleeping in, taking a 90 pill to go.
I'm on vacation this week.
Next. Are you? Wow.
Well, no, I'm not. All right, so my schedule, I usually have Wednesdays and Thursdays off. So, but this week I took Tuesday and Friday off because if I don't use my time, I will lose it. So.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Where are you going? Anywhere special?
No.
Chuck E. Cheese?
No. Here, I'm going to be here doing the poster for Wrestle Wyatt 2022.
What'd you do on your vacation? I finished the women's league. Huh. I will tell you this: when I have my knee replaced, I'll be out of work for like 4 months. So I'm gonna get like some crazy activity done. Sad.
You should play video games on your new computer. That's what you should do.
My friends are all telling me to get a PS5. I guess they're on sale tomorrow.
Don't do that.
I don't know if that's legit.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And I don't play. Seriously, I have a PS4 now. The only time I turn it on is to do wrestling characters for the game.
But you could do that. You could do that on your computer too.
I know, but not as good quality.
Yeah, no, it is.
A desktop?
Yeah.
They have a desktop version.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds better. Anyways,
all you do is take your PlayStation 4 controller that you have already, you plug it in because there's a USB slot, and there you go. You're off and running.
Oh my God. Well, moving. I want a quick aside. So one of my coworkers I mentioned before.
You don't have a job.
Yeah, I do. I know. So one of my coworkers is a big wrestling fan. That's fine. So another coworker has come out to me as being a wrestling fan because I made a joke. What the hell was the joke I made? It was super obscure, and I was like, and he got it. And
you talk about the Boogie Woogie Man or something?
No, Boogie Woogie. Anyways, he came up.
Big Mama was all the way live, by the way.
I talked about the stone pit bull because it was a stone fruit.
Yeah.
And he got the stone pit bull joke.
Okay.
Which wasn't a joke really. Anyways, we started talking, and he's like, "You a wrestler?" I'm like, "Yeah, don't get excited. That was like a long time ago, and I'm broken down." And then he's like, "Oh," he's like, "I love like AEW and New Japan." And he was like, "It's hard to find other people that are into wrestling." And I thought of Alex telling his stories about being ashamed to mention he's a wrestling fan in school growing up. So we started talking, and I mentioned, "Oh, I do a wrestling game," because he plays D&D game type stuff too. So I gave the Play IWA website, and I'm like, all right, go to this website, and then you'll see the IWAR magazine. That's the thing I work on. So he hasn't checked it out yet. So the next time we do the show, hopefully we'll have some update on what Jake thought of the league or the game.
You didn't drop I got trained with Triple H reference?
Oh yeah, at some point I mentioned that, I'm sure. Because everyone always says like, what was your biggest your biggest person you ever worked with? I'm like, well, I had a show where the Night Stalker, which was Adam Baum, was on there, and I told him his wife was hot and didn't realize it was his wife. Because he was looking out and he's like, "Any hotties out there?" I'm like, "That blonde in the back's pretty good." And he's like, "Yeah, she is. She's my wife." And I'm like, "Oh, nice.
Good for you. Good for you, Adam Baum." He's selling those foam footballs again.
Is he?
Yeah. Get me one of those.
And Triple H, obviously, Perry Saturn, Brian Cronus. I missed China. I was asked about China when they get to know me. I'm like, I missed. It was right after I left, and then when I came back, she was gone.
And you certainly weren't there for Eddie Edwards because that was like 12 years later.
Right. So I'm right. Oh, I also want to mention that as you guys probably remember, I had to get a new computer. So in the process of trying to save files and so forth, because I have a Carbonite account, I was trying to find some stuff. So I got a thing online, like, it's like the hard drive, like download a writer. So anyways, I found almost all of my old radio shows from like 2010, 11, 12. So I might have some old IWA shows on there.
Oh, okay.
So if I find them and they're worth listening to, I might,
I wish you could find the ones where it was you and Bob and not mention me at all on the show. That was cool. Thanks.
I think I can do that.
I was so mad. I did like a 4-page TT, right? And they're going through the leagues. It's like a proto Tubecast, right? So it's like, they're going through all the stuff. I'm sitting there, have my popcorn out. I'm listening. I'm excited. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And they just skipped right over me. So that was sad.
Dark times. And
that's why I try to include as many people as I can when we talk about this stuff. Especially when we do TT. Yeah, I try to go through everything that we have, and I really do try to talk about it. If I met, we miss people every once in a while, and they'll let me know it. That's for sure. But I try to get everybody as much as I can.
I'll say this: with my trash talk in the IWL, I have notes I make for like a little notepad of what I write for. Okay, I'll write for Atari will talk about this, Atari will talk about that, and 3 times now I've left out a certain challenge match I wanted to throw out to somebody that's ran out of space, and just what I do is I put that at the bottom of as I'm writing along. I kind of erase what I'd use. So what ends up happening is if you look at the page and you scroll down, you'll see just below the edge of the page the other stuff I meant to talk about. So this time I'm gonna make sure I call out the right guy, because I feel bad because this dude's been calling out Atari for 4 months, and I'm like, totally blowing him off. Whoops. Sorry.
That's why I always suggest when people are writing TT is if you put someone's name in your TT. So I said, "Oh, Neo Dragon, go to hell." I like at least in my earlier days, I don't do it much anymore because I just assume everyone reads it now. But back in my earlier days, I used to bold the names. So if you're scanning through it, you'll see that, oh, that motherfucker's talking about me. Let me say something back to him. James, you don't want to miss it. But now between recaps and Tubecast, maybe not, that may be not useful, but you can still do it. That's for sure.
All right, so I want to get back to this. Talk about the Murano Memorial round 2 results. So Jane Red and Matthew Van Slaughter took on Playboy McFerrari and Sam Hain, and it was 512 to 507. Upset in the making as East-West Connection was downed and McFerrari and Sam Hain advance. And then in another bizarre match, Hank Henkel and Buddy Donner had a 502. This is my team. And I thought, well, that's it. They're out. I'm out of the tournament. But Zydrate and Ivik Largo, I don't know what happened to Tyler's strategies. I just know he had a horrible cycle. But they scored a 497. So got the gift win. I will take it. I will take the cheap win. Thank you very much. What can you do? Next round, there was a match where White Claw Outlaws and Leon Buttersworth and Winnipeg Wookie both drew, and I could not break the tie. So they both advanced in a triple threat match against the Mannequins, but the Mannequins hit a 513, so they eliminated both White Claw Outlaws and Leroy Buttersworth and Winnipeg Wookie. So Mannequins advance. Mannequins will then face Mike Zenith and Shane Gloom, who hit a 516. Good call on that one. They took out the Warsaw Warrior and the Polish Powerhouse with a 502. So
That sounds racist.
Okay. Sure. Yes. In these trying times. Let's see here. Carlos Danger and Ricky Spanish got a 505. The Graces got a 508. And I have late word. I might have some bad news for Jeremy because the IWA messed up and didn't play a match. Now, I will say this. My least favorite thing to do is say, hey, here's a result. And someone's like, yeah, I won and advanced. Nice. And then someone else come along and go, oh, there was a mess up, a mistake. So if this holds out and Sasquatch and Matthew Porter have a 513 like they told me, if the IWA didn't play the match and it should have been played, then they will advance. If the match wasn't signed, that wasn't signed. So
it's a forfeit.
Right. We'll know more in a few days for sure. So by the next time we do the next show, I can mention it for sure who advanced. Speaking of advancing, Jesse Tombstone and James Carnage at a 519. They eliminated Dave Wazalewski and Waz at a 503. So, 6 teams remaining. Now, we have the Johnny B Cup, which is a whole bucket of messy here. But I'll try to go through these as fast as I can. So, Jim the Anchor Neidhart had a 490, but so did Public Enemy Roderick Hughes. So going by the Battle Royal money earnings, Jim Neidhart advances. That's the second time in a row he's advanced on a tiebreaker. So good for him. I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to sneeze. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Bless you.
Thanks. Then Playboy McFerrari hit a 500 to take down Lee Tegation. Lee Tegation had a 490. Next up, Punk Rock Mike hit a 496. He eliminates Country Hammer Rhett Grady, who had a 493. Double R Rob Ratliff had a 498 to eliminate LePage Turner, who had a 496. Randy the Ram had a 499. He eliminates the Chameleon, who had a 496. Flashy Jack Ferdinand had a 499. He eliminates Enric Philamonte. I'm sorry, wrong name. Firebirds John Satterfield had a 499. He eliminates Enric Philamont, who had a 495. Then we have Neo Dragon advancing over Rod Camino, who had I'm going to guess, double the hold. Something happened. Had a 467. So Rod Camino's really red hot streak came to an end. Then we had Atari, Lee Atari advancing against Alexander J. Styles, who went inactive because of his ACL tear. So look at that. Maybe Atari paid off Stevie Vertigo to do it.
Ooh. Unbelievable.
Yep. Next up, we had Quentin Cisco getting upset by Brom O'Barron with a 494, 1-point victory there, so close one. Then we had another upset, El Barbero with a 496, upsetting Wrestling Demon Drugs with a 488. Johnny WrestleFest had a 498, and he still got beat by Catfish Chucky, who had a 499.
Oof.
And I know, right? Like, that's a crazy, crazy finish right there. Then Flashy Jack Ferdinand at a 498, and he beat Silver Fox with a 496. Our final bracket, it was Left Fist Elisha Baz getting beat out by Who the Heck is My Cook. We had Big Guns Greg Gannar with a 495. Losing to Stevie Vertigo, who had a 495 as well, but he got a tiebreaker. Then we get Sheepdog Rogue Grady with a 498, eliminates Nivek Largo with a 482, and Ghostly Shadows crushed R.A. Rude 497 to 490. So that is that, folks. So we're getting down, the nitty gritty, 16 remaining wrestlers. And I dig that. Do you dig that, Alex?
Hey, don't step on my line, okay? Don't think I have. I have one catchphrase.
Come on, kid. Use my finisher. That's my move. I'm the one with the super kicks around here.
Recently with the death of Scott Hall, it reminds me of a story that I don't know if it was Bubba Ray Dudley said or told, or Scott Hall told. So when Scott Hall first met the Dudleys, he walks up to Bubba Ray and he goes, "Oh, 3D. That's a cool finish. Can't wait to kick out of it." Like, what a dick. Oh, that's awesome. Any other questions for Johnny B before we call it an evening tonight, guys? Chirp, chirp, chirp. Chirp,
That's
chirp,
it.
chirp. Chirp, chirp. Nothing. What are you guys watching in terms of wrestling nowadays? Man, I know you're watching the AEW and such.
I'm not only watching, I'm going next Wednesday.
Are you? Good for you. Good for you.
Going to
Yeah.
the show in Boston finally. So
Yeah. Give me a CM Punk autograph or a shirt.
I'll be like, yo, dude.
CM Punk played IWA for sure, 100%. There's no way he didn't.
We have, I say this half jokingly, we have said for many years that we have a mole in the game.
Yeah.
For how many times our angles have shown up on Real Wrestling.
It's weird. It has happened so many times that it really can't be a coincidence anymore. It really can't.
Yep. That's all I got to say about that. Yeah.
So Leon's
but-
watching older Memphis. I'm a big fan of Memphis in '82. That's really good. I also like '87 as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite feuds ever is Tommy Rich and Austin Idol against Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
Just such a good, and I've always said, feud should either be about a championship rivalry or just hatred. They shouldn't be stupid. They shouldn't be petty. And I always feel that, one of the reasons I like AEW, and maybe it's just me, I don't always know who's going to win. And I like that. Like, if I watch I tried to watch Raw the other night. It's just unwatchable. And Jeff was complaining about that.
I haven't watched a full episode of Raw since 2006.
And you're not missing much.
No.
Yeah,
I've been to one live, because I went the day after WrestleMania and the day after SummerSlam. But
I know what I was going to say. I was going to ask, is there a way for you to run a video as we're doing this instead of just a picture on the screen?
yeah.
Because I was thinking a few things. Some of us in the game have actual matches online that you can watch. We could do a live commentary of any, when it comes to some of our matches. So guys like Tyler and other guys like Patrick that have matches out there. We could run them and talk about the match and have them come on and talk about it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, that can be done. We can do it's called a riff track, apparently.
Nice.
So that can be done as a thing. Yes. IWTV is very good. I have subscribed to them in the past. Not currently a subscriber because I don't have any money. My wife took it all, and she's forcing me to eat ramen noodles. So that's why
I love ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles every day.
Love them. Quick aside, speaking of IWTV, if you have an antenna, like a TV antenna, so you get the local channels.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be nationwide. There's a channel called Comet. There's one called Charge. Comet is all the most awful sci-fi movies from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, mixed in with an occasional Terminator or a really good sci-fi movie. But most of it's garbage, but it's a fantastic watch. And the Charge channel is all Knight Rider, A-Team, old cheesy action, Manimal, like cheesy action shows you forgot about.
So every morning at 7 a.m., I have to turn on all the TVs in the store. And like they're supposed to go into like their demo modes, right? But there's one Samsung TV that does not go to demo mode. It just goes to some random channel that plays Baywatch the entire day. I'm dead serious.
You did that.
And someone has to change it. And they perpetually play Baywatch over and over.
My God.
So I'm sitting there, I'm just watching it. It's like and it's awful. Baywatch is an awful show. Like it's really bad. Like it's really bad. But that's we gotta do things to amuse ourselves. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. I think we're done.
All right, guys. Thank you as always for joining us. So for Matt Riley, for Jeff, I'm Alex G. Have a good night. Alex, you have to watch the Gold Workshop. What, so I can get a 496 instead of a 495? That doesn't really help. Unbelievable.
Nice. Look at that.
I don't know what you guys are saying.
It'll make sense if you watch it. It'll all make sense.
I watched the How to Win an IWA once. I had no idea what we're talking about.
You get a 490. You were Wrestler of the Year 1 year with Luther Alexander.
I know. That's again, it just proves this whole tracking nonsense.
Stole it from Atari. God damn it.
You guys do. It was like I could win without it. All right, guys.